Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Ryan, and I'm here joined, as always, by my co-host Joe, which makes this movie Howl. And this time we're going to be discussing my most recent pick, which is Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers, a movie that we both thoroughly enjoyed and have nothing but praise for.
Yeah, I mean, this was... what an amazing pick, man. I don't know where you came up with it, but it's just, like... not seen a movie like this in a long time.
Yeah.
It's like it came... I don't know when this came out, but...
2020.
2020, wow.
2020,
the
yeah.
style of it, it's apparently like an indie art house type movie, but the style of it is very like a late 70s, maybe early 80s, just campy horror comedy movie.
Yeah.
It's really self-aware.
The reason I chose it, I found it through, I think, Real Good, like the random movie picker.
Yeah.
They have this thing on their website where you enter in what services you have, and it just suggests some random movie. There are filters and stuff that you can use, but I just said movie, one of these services, just hit it a couple times because it kept coming up with like stuff that everybody knows about, you know,
Got you.
Goodfellas, things like that. And it's like, now let's get something weird. And then it came up with this Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers. And
Christ.
I mean, it brought me back to one of my big regrets in life, which is
Not being a Vampire Slayer?
I saw a VHS copy of Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, or I think that was the title, at Slackers, and I did not buy it. And I've never seen it since. I've never been able to find it. So I couldn't let this one go by.
Yeah, and we sure didn't. We sure didn't let it go by. I watched a preview of it when you sent me this, and I didn't know what to make of it. But I was like, you know what? I'm down. Let's watch it. I will just, from the outset, Hawk and Rev, save another day, fighting vampires, chasing them away. It might be the best opening song lyric to any movie that we have reviewed to this point. It's just set the tone for this entire thing. The whole time. Okay, so the whole time I'm watching this movie, the character of Rev, he looks like the guy in Deadpool who would own the bar.
Yeah.
TJ Miller. I know it's not him, but it looked like him the whole time. And I kept thinking of him, and it just very reminiscent of him. Like this guy was, I don't know if he was going for that on purpose, but these characters, this character of Hawk and this character of Rev, very unique individuals.
Hawk Hawkins.
Yeah,
which I didn't realize was his name until like towards the end of the movie when he says it.
Nice.
He refers to himself as Hawk Hawkins, and I just threw my head back. I was like, oh, like it just keeps getting better.
So much better.
This movie was so good. I expected it to be real bad. I wanted a movie that was bad that we could just make fun of. And I don't know how you feel. Like, we don't talk about these before we do it. Typically. You know, we might have some where it's like Mr. Nobody was like, this one's a little weird, you know, but it's like, there's nothing beyond that. This one, I didn't even watch all of the trailer before I sent it to you. I was just like, all right, this looks good. And you're right in that the first few minutes of it set the tone for the entire thing. The song is so, so on the nose. It looks like a movie you would have made in high school for like a class.
Absolutely.
But it is so well shot. Like everything about it is so perfect. The pans are perfect. The transitions are perfect. All the different angles they use. It's like, oh man, they put so much work into making it. It was actually super low budget.
Much more well done in that aspect, the cinematography aspect, than I expected it to be.
Yeah, like I've seen real bad movies before, like, you know, really low budget, like homemade stuff that kids do for fun or whatever.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
Like
The Room, yeah. It was so good. I was really, like, Kim sat down with me. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to watch this movie for the show. She was like, oh, what is it? And I told her the title, and she was like, yeah, I'm not watching that, and just got up and left. And I don't even know where she went, but she showed up about 45 minutes through and just sat down and I would look over at her and she'd look back at me just with this like really? Like you're still watching this kind of look?" And I would just laugh and like, "Oh my god, it was so." I was like, "You missed the whole setup. Like
Right?
it's so much better if you see the whole thing. If you come in midway through, it just doesn't have the same effect." It's so good. Like I can't believe how much I actually like it. Like unironically like it. It's just
Terry
really well.
was great. I just want to say that. Terry, the homeless accountant, was
Mhm.
fantastic. Loved him.
Everybody was good.
Everybody was good.
The guy that played
The
Rev, the one you're saying looked like TJ Miller, right?
mhm.
He played the Gimp,
Yes, he did.
Fornius the
Yes.
Gimp.
Fornius. God.
I love. Oh my god! And they're sitting in the car at that one point. And they're like eating popcorn or whatever. And he's like, "What are you gonna do? You gonna?" And he like unzips his own thing. He's like, "Oh, you unzip it yourself now,
Is
huh?"
you just doing that now? No, it was self-aware enough to be really fun, and it wasn't. I expected the same thing you did. I'm like, oh, this piece of like, I couldn't even believe it when I looked at the name of the screenshot from Prime Video that you sent me, and I said, "Excuse me, this is what he wants us to what? Okay." And, oh, by the way, I just so a heads up, I made a deal with my daughter, and she's gonna pick a movie for us to watch. I think she
Hmm.
might have forgotten that, but when she does remember, well, you might get in. I don't know what we're gonna probably some sort of anime movie. I don't know, but just be
Hmm.
aware that that is coming.
Okay,
So
I
I'm sorry.
appreciate the heads up.
Uh
I might like it. It might send me spiraling back into like high school.
huh.
I mean, I've started
The
listening to Linkin Park again recently, so I mean, it'll just continue this downward trajectory.
in the very beginning of the movie, like you said something about your fiance and not having caught the beginning of it. The very beginning scene with Hawk, and he's living in a tent in his parents' backyard, and they have left to go maybe on vacation. I don't know, but the house is all locked up. He has to break in to get in. They have hidden all the food, and they apparently just threw it into the bin where the trash can is that you pull out, and they just threw it all in there. And he finds it, and then at the very end of that scene, he finds a note that they leave for him. I love that note. That was great. What a
Yeah.
great part of the way to get this whole thing rolling and get him off on his own and starting this adventure. Oh my gosh.
Well, and it's both parents' voices together
Yes.
reading the note out. Like
At the
everything
same
was so
time.
well done. Yeah.
It
They
really
put a
was.
lot of
Surprisingly
effort.
so.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into making it really low budget seeming and campy, but it it wasn't. Like it didn't wear on you. If you watch a really low budget movie from like Sci-Fi or one of these channels that do them for tax reasons, I mean maybe they need like some kind of write-off, some kind of loss. I don't know. Like honestly, some of them are so bad. Like there's no way anybody reasonable that would watch some of them could be like, "Yes, this is what we want to put out." Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is like, what if we did that but made it really good and it didn't wear on you? Like it was well made enough and self-aware enough. I even liked the after the credit scene, or
Yep.
not like the mid credit scene. Like it just keeps
Hmm.
going. It's like the same scene over and over, but with different people in the gimp suit.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It like I don't we don't even need to really talk about the plot of this movie or what
No, there's
happened
not.
in it.
Yeah, there's not too much. I mean, it's in the title.
Yeah, it is.
Vampire Slayers. Like there
It's
are vampires.
there's
And there are
things that go on in
credibility
it.
issues with a guy named Hawk Hawkins who lives in a patched up tent in his parents' backyard. I mean, that's kind of
And
there's your plot.
somehow is still cool enough that he can ring up a booty call for the tent.
Yeah.
Like, you know what, chick? That you deserve everything you get with that. You go to a booty call to a tent, you're gonna have a bad time.
Oh
Like I don't even know. But
my
like this movie, there were so many, I think, quotable lines from this movie.
Yeah,
It
like
was actually insane.
she was pumping me for information.
They were gardening for cancer.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yeah. Oh my god, the what was he
the
deputy?
deputy, yeah.
Yeah, the deputy shows up. He's like, "What was his stuff stolen?" And he's like, "No, it's a charity drive. What hospital? You know the hospital with for kids with cancer."
And that's right when he says that the deputy like gets real serious, like, oh my god, That's amazing that you're doing that. Wait, what are those? Those gardening tools? We're gardening for cancer.
Oh my god! And then when he calls him later, because he's like, "Well, I know the cops won't take me seriously if I tell them to come here."
Yeah,
So he
right.
just calls him, and he's like, "I don't
Starts to
remember."
talk to him for a second, then hangs up.
Yeah, like talk shit and then hangs up, and he's like, "Did you just hang up on me?" He's like, "No, I did not." Click, like hangs up again. And they're
Oh my!
like, "You didn't tell him where you're gonna be." He's like, "Oh right." Calls him back again. Yeah, I'm gonna be at blah 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 in an
Water
hour.
treatment
Hangs up
plant.
on him again.
There's what you could call a twist in this movie towards the end, which I don't think was a twist. From the very first time that Hawk sees vampires and the whole thing gets started, I kind of picked out what was going to happen.
Oh, I didn't.
But like, I think that's expected.
I did not. I did not pick it up
Really?
at all. No,
Okay.
not at all.
Like, I saw that and
I
I'm
just
like,
thought it
oh.
was straightforward what it was going to be. Oh man, but it's so good.
Oh.
I love the dude that played Rev. Like Hawk was all of them were great. Everybody in it was great. But there's something about the guy that played Rev, and I think it's the same thing that makes people love Kramer on Seinfeld, where
Okay, Cosmo Kramer.
yeah,
Not Kramer the psychiatrist.
no,
Okay.
no, where he's acting the whole time. Like in Seinfeld, most everybody's kind of just being themselves, and Kramer has to play this part, and he has to have this like twitchy, physicality. And Rev the whole time is like doing this weird stuff with his mouth and his teeth, and he's like moving his glasses around, and he does this Tai Chi stuff, and he sits in weird ways and stuff like that. I mean, all of them do that stuff, but it's constant for him. Even when he's not delivering lines or anything, he's doing something.
Yeah, him being a pacifist, and Hawk is trying to come up with all these things that he wants to do, but he can't stake them. He can't hurt. No violence. It's like, how are you going to be a vampire hunter if you can't hunt vampire? Like, I was curious. They have these rules of engagement
and the secret stakes.
No, I don't. It's not even a thing. It's a secret. It's not. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh.
That's a T-shirt I would buy if they sold that. You know what? I should find out actually if they sell that.
You should just make one.
I should get their permission first.
Okay, probably.
I feel like they deserve a cut of it if I do.
The secret stake. Oh my gosh. The music in this was actually fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Like, there's a bunch of original music in it, and it was so good for the movie it's in. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. They put so much effort into it. It's unbelievable. I feel like anybody listening is going to think this is another Lucky Number 11. Like, hey, let's get real for a second. This was terrible, but it's not. This is for real.
Just what it is.
Yeah,
it's a terrible movie. Like, it was made to be terrible, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's like if The Room meant to be a meme.
Before that was a thing.
Yeah,
before trying to be like a meme was a thing. Yes.
Yeah,
that's what this movie is trying to be, and
it's so good.
It absolutely hits the nail on the head with it.
Yeah, it's almost like Hawks. You know what it's like? It's like these guys have kind of a Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly vibe, but they're not irritating. They're not irritating. Like, I just think Will Ferrell, both of those guys, they have the kind of personality where they can get old. They're a little bit too much of themselves sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, like it was good in Talladega Nights.
Mm-hmm.
But then they just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And it eventually you can't, like, I don't necessarily want to watch 10 Hawk and Rev movies.
No, but what I mean is that this movie has these characters who have a bit. They have a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like Hawk wears the Karate Kid headband and the Anarchy vest and all this stuff. Like, I kept seeing it, and then somebody in the movie referenced it, like, what's up with the Karate Kid thing or whatever. And it's like, okay, that is it. Like, I don't know if it's that or that I've just been like rewatching some of Cobra Kai, but look familiar. But the point is, they never get tiring. It never wore on me. Like, the characters never got annoying. They know exactly how to switch things up, how to give them like little moments where they need them, to switch to somebody else when they need them. I mean, the humor is so good. Just even little scenes that don't need to have a bit do sometimes.
Like the
Like they're
bird call scene. They're sitting in the where his tent is
yeah.
in this little area there with Terry. There's this bathroom they have made out of like a big refrigerator box or something, and they're both in the bathroom, and they're doing the bird calls,
Okay.
and they're having
I
the
w-
whole thing.
I want to make sure that was the scene you were
Uh huh.
talking about for sure. But yes, that is the. I would have just referred to that as like the outhouse scene or whatever, the refrigerator box outhouse. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like that's the bit. They're having this conversation, and they're not acknowledging where they are until they do. Rev's like, "Are you going to the bathroom?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." Like whatever he says. Oh my, it's so good.
The name, and this absolutely killed me as well. The name of the city that this takes place in is Santa Muerta.
Yeah, Saint Death, right?
Yes. Like, what? Just everything about it. It's so well thought out. I was really surprised that it turned into something that wasn't total garbage. Like they have, there's a little bit of a story arc. There's you could say a little bit of a love story. There's a twist, a little surprise. There's a couple of antagonists with vampires and the deputy. Oh my god. And the vampire killing scenes from the beginning, you have these single guys, like the first guy, hey, bro, you said to me I'm like this MMA champion guy. And he just gets ripped in half or whatever by this vampire. Oh, just and he's like this guy's trying to talk to his girlfriend, and the girlfriend just gets, are you are you having sex with this other bitch? Are you?
Yeah,
He
are you
dri-
having? Yeah, are you getting with Chelsea or whatever it is?
yeah. He drops the phone because the vampire's, totally killing him, and she's, what? You? And she's just going off on him. Every decision in this, it's surprisingly good.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, they made a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie made by extremely talented people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so good. It's so good.
I really enjoyed how by the end of the movie it comes full circle and Hawk is happily in his house, his parents' house,
hmm
with his job, and he I don't know why I guess it's because he's a security guard. Like that's his thing in some warehouse or for like
Yeah,
big storage units or something. But it looks like just a police officer's outfit. Like that's what it looks like. It While he's doing this security guard gig, he's got this other security guard buddy who's apparently a Mormon. And he's like, you're always late. You're basically the thing you'd expect the way a person who just has a job to act. Like he's
hmm
one of the straight men in the movie. He's just doing like this is the way it should be, the way the real life person would play it. And
yeah. I guess you're right. There are only two straight men in the movie. There's him, and there's the
deputy.
deputy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even the deputy was a little
he had a bit too.
he did. He even had a little bit of a bit. But this Mormon guy, like Hawk is in there just I guess watching porn.
Yeah,
His laptop, like, and Rev's like, "Are you? Is that? No, it's public domain." Like, I don't even. I didn't even know how we were going to talk about this movie.
no, I think this works. We're just gushing about it because it's so good. Like, really, there's no reason not to watch it. I don't think. I mean, it's not for kids. There's there's not like a lot of nudity, and the violence is really ridiculous. It's not like a kid. Well, I guess I shouldn't make assertions about what kids will or won't do, but I can't imagine anybody watching this and being like, "Yes, that looks realistic." Like this gives me ideas of things I should really do. Like it's everything is ridiculous. There's only one thing that comes close to a sex scene. That guy and that chick like
Yeah.
behind the warehouse in like a fox body Mustang from the early 90s.
Oh, that. Yeah. There was a little bit of that. You're not wrong.
But it's another one of those vampire scenes.
Yeah. They have a character who's like the lone wolf who becomes the mentor.
Mm-hmm.
It There's so much to this movie.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a lone wolf, and they're like, well, what if there were some cubs that wanted to learn something?
And he thought about it for a second, like, oh, well, that makes sense. Like they just talked him into it without any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah.
This crazy guy. I really did like how they referenced the movie Dusk Till Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about that.
And they mentioned
it's
Lost
got that
Boys,
really handsome doctor guy, and then the director who's trying to act, and oh my god.
And then they mentioned Lost Boys like 8 times. That was what brought Kim back into the room, I think. She's like, I keep hearing them mention Lost Boys, but she's like, this sucks compared to Lost Boys. And I was like, how dare you? This movie's amazing.
It really is good.
Yeah, it's really good. So it's available on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm. That's where we watched it.
And yeah, there's like not for little kids, but I really can't think of a reason not to watch it. I mean, just, don't expect a serious movie. Don't expect Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy or something like intellectual or challenging. Just expect something really, really fun.
Well, I'm sorry. If you watch a movie called Hawk and Rev, Vampire Slayers, and you expect something like that, that's kind of on you. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's fair.
Like Halligan's, I don't know if either one of us have anything more to say about this. It was
I don't want
to short one.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
I don't either. It's a ridiculous movie with a ridiculous premise. It has ridiculous characters, and yet all of it together works so much better than it ever should have.
Yeah.
The people who put it together really put thought and time and effort into it, into all the characters, the shots, the way it's the music, the way all of it's done is really well thought out. And I was pleasantly surprised by this random pick of yours. So unlike what I had originally thought when you first sent this to me, oh my gosh. No, this was top notch, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It's a total watch. I don't know if you can buy it. I'm going to have to find out. I might have to tweet to these people if I can't find anything else about them. They even make a joke. See, you asked when it was made or when it came out. It came out in 2020. But they make a joke in the mid-credit scene where the guy that plays Rev,
they're talking about an indie movie.
Yeah, he's like, hey, it's like 2040, right? And he's like, what? And he's like, well, it takes a really long time for an indie movie to come out, right?
Yeah, it does. That was well done too. So I don't know if you have anything else. I don't particularly have anything else. Are they going to hit us up on some socials? Yeah,
they could. They could email us. Anybody could email us. The people who made this could email us. That'd be fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Our email is moviehowl@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @moviehowl. I'm on Twitter @manpanda. We'd love to hear from you. We'd like to know what you'd like us to do better, what you'd like us to do differently. If you have another recommendation that's something like this, something we wouldn't have found without just some random chance. And we want to thank you for listening and supporting us that way. But that's all I've got.
Absolutely. Thank you once again for listening to another episode of Movie Howl. I'm pretty sure you've been Ryan. Am I right?
I think so. And you're Joe?
Last I checked. And I'm pretty sure both of us, we're out.